Look, I understand as much as the next person that we are in a cost of living crisis, but I'm just saying a bottle of water, nothing special, just a bottle of water does not need to be almost $5. This is a regular 600ml bottle of water. Why does it have to be so expensive?
Since everything's expensive now, I've made an executive life decision. I'm gonna start stealing again.
I live in Australia, and I am consistently seeing in the media stories about the record-breaking theft that is happening at grocery stores, and then seeing all of the technology that these grocery store chains are rolling out to catch people doing it. And then I'm seeing separate articles about the record-breaking profits that these grocery store chains are celebrating. And not once, and correct me if I'm wrong, send it my way to like give me some fucking hope for journalism these days, but not once have I seen a story, I don't know, pair these two together and maybe ask the question, why are people resorting to thievery, to potentially altering the course of their lives just so that they can, I don't know, eat, feed the fam? People are, risking their lives by stealing, or risking their lives by not eating enough because they can't afford to eat, or they're getting sick from foraging. We live in a nightmare!
What is it that you do for a living?
I was a marketing assistant.
Was?
Yeah, I just quit my job.
Oh, what was your salary or your hourly rate?
My salary was $43,000 a year.
And how many hours a week were you working?
I worked 9 hours a day.
And how was your work-life balance?
Because I live an hour away from the city, so I would have to do 2 hours commute driving in every day. So I would get home at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then I'll just go to sleep. And didn't really have a work-life balance.
And how's the cost of living increase impacted on your life?
Oh, inflation has, definitely. I've seen just everything, food, clothes, going out. I mean, I was trying to move out at the start of the year, but I couldn't afford it to keep my lifestyle and living out, so I stayed at home.
What are your thoughts on unions?
Everyone should join the union. Always unionize. Yeah. So I'm sitting outside of Woolies waiting for it to open, and I'm thinking about the cost of living crisis and inflation and the fact that my rent has gone up and so have all of my bills, and I literally can't afford to live. And I have a full-time job on a salary, so I don't know how some people are doing it. But I thought I'd tell you some of the things that I've had to give up because of the cost of living increases. So the first thing I've had to give up is eating. I can't afford to buy any of the foods that I like. I can't buy fruit. I can't buy snacks. I can't buy myself a cheeky Red Bull. What's that about? My fiance and I had to bulk buy meat from a butcher and keep it in the freezer. And I don't even like eating meat. I don't enjoy eating meat. But that's what I'm eating. Meat with rice and pasta. The second thing I've had to give up is buying clothes. I can't even afford to look at a clothing store. I've lost a lot of weight recently and none of my clothes fit me, but I have to wear the outfits I already have on rotation and I don't even like them. But that's what I have to do. The third thing I've given up is being a Swiftie. 1989 Taylor's version's coming out and I can't afford to buy any of the vinyls, which really is hurting my little vinyl collector heart. But Taylor, what are you doing? Sell them for $1. It's expensive here in Australia. The fourth thing I've given up is being happy.
Let's have a chat about how much it cost me to live in Brisbane as a uni student. Bit of context, I moved from Tasmania to Brisbane City last year in February, so I'm going to do it from February 2022 to February 2023. Also, the people that know me know that I'm quite tight with my money, so some numbers are quite low, but I really wasn't expecting the total. So starting off with rent, I moved into an accommodation right in the middle of the city and I spent about $6,685. But I only lived there till about October, so from February to October. We then moved into our new place here where my partner moved up here, and from then we probably totaled about $10,588 for the whole year of rent for myself. Transport, so I didn't have a car, just used buses and trains, and I spent $510. I'm super impressed with that. Then groceries, so we did a few family house meals when I first moved into the accommodation, and then so for myself I spent $1,351, and then when I moved into here with my partner, it then totaled to about $1,700 for the whole year. Setting up, so how much it cost me to set up my little apartment, like a doona and things like that, it was only about $280. $280. But then when it come to setting up our place here, we obviously bought furniture, so around $3,000 each. Eating out, this one I really want to try to cut down next year, so my total was $1,201. Uncategorized, so this was just like I played football, this was transferring to people and transferring money into a holiday and things like that, so around $4,451. Then my UQ, so what I brought scrubs and a few textbooks, things like that, was about $200. I then also had to buy a new phone because I broke mine, so that was around $1,200. So my total was $25,110.31.
I think the cost of living rising is more burdening on the family budget than the rising interest rates. For example, I've got a couple of young kids, I've got a mortgage, and I've got to put food on the table. I notice it more in the weekly shop, the increase, and just the cost of living for goods and services than I do with my mortgage rate going up. And I'm on a variable, so it's gone up like everyone else's. How they get the cost of living down is more important than how they control interest rates, as far as I'm concerned. My view on how they get the cost of living down is you've got to increase the supply of energy and you've got to increase the supply of food. Two things which Australia's got pretty much an unlimited amount of, so I can't see why our cost of living for those two things are going through the roof, and it flows onto everything else. So that's the one thing, they've got to control that.